It's that time, Seattle hockey fans. Tonight, it's the real deal. The first game of the regular season. We're going to talk about that. Get you ready for the game. You'll hear from Andre Burakovsky and Shane Wright ahead of tonight's tilt with the Anaheim Ducks. All that and more coming up on Locked On Kraken.
You are Locked On Kraken, your daily podcast on the Seattle Kraken, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
We are the Seattle Kraken.
Hey, what do you say, Seattle hockey fans? Welcome to another episode of Locked On Kraken. Now, yesterday's episode came out pretty early. Actually, finished it in the airport. But for those of you who've been long-term listeners and viewers, you'll see that I am in a new location here in New York. So this one's coming out a little bit later. But don't worry, it's a jam-packed show. We've got what's cracking? Lots of news around the Seattle Kraken. It is not the home opener, but the season opener at Anaheim. We're going to talk about some players to watch. We're going to hear from some of our players, and I'll tell you how to watch. So let's get it started. We're getting the party started. Again, my name is Erica L. Ayala. It's right down there for you if you're watching on YouTube. I'm excited. I've got my Kraken jersey on from the inaugural season. This is already an old jersey, okay? I got the inaugural patch here. So I know Seattle fans are excited for this game, and so are Seattle players. Let's hear first from Shane Wright at Morning Skate talking about being able to make his NHL debut.
This is number one rule above all else. How you feeling right now, Shane?
Excited. Really excited. I think that's the biggest thing. Most emotions I'm feeling right now is just really excited for this. Kind of something that, it is something that I look forward to my whole life. And now that the day's finally here, it's pretty exciting and really looking forward to going out.
You have family that's going to be here tonight?
Yeah, my parents are here, yeah.
You got those exhibition games out of the way. Does that make it easier to do this, or are you just as nervous as you'd be if you were just stepping in cold?
Oh, I think the preseason games definitely helped a lot. Definitely helped me, kind of get used to the speed, get used to the energy, and also kind of just being a pro. The day-to-day life, being in the locker room, and how to prepare my body and recover properly and all that. So those preseason games definitely helped me a lot. Definitely learned a lot, and definitely I'm going to take that experience in the game tonight for sure.
What have your teammates said to you about just kind of the significance of tonight, how to prepare, what to care about?
Yeah, the biggest thing is you only get one first NHL game, so make it worthwhile, enjoy every second of it. Don't be too nervous, just kind of soak in the moment, enjoy it, but also go compete and go have fun. That's the biggest thing said is go have fun, go enjoy yourself, and that's what I'm going to try to do here tonight.
The smile on Shane's face. You just got a little bit of a snippet of how Shane Wright is feeling the energy. I love it. The energy Shane Wright is bringing, the excitement, the gratitude. You absolutely love to hear it. He's felt that Seattle has been a welcoming place, and I think there's a love affair brewing here. And we are going to have a franchise to remember. That's a little bit of a play. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Sleepless in Seattle was based on an affair to remember a love. Okay, I'm not going to sing. Anyway, we've got a nice little thing brewing with Shane Wright and, of course, Matty Beniers, two young centermen in the National Hockey League. But before we get to Andre Burakovsky, let's take a look. Speaking of Emerald City Hockey, these were the lines that we saw earlier today in the morning skate. So I've said it once. I've said it twice already on this podcast, and I will say it again. If you are not following Emerald City Hockey, you are doing yourself a disservice. And I'm just going to pump their tires a lot of times in this episode. But to begin, let's take you over to the rushes that we saw this morning. You also heard, you will hear from Burakovsky. He's talking about McCann and Beniers, a little bit of a, so he's talking about McCann and Beniers. So that's on your left, from left to right. McCann, Beniers, Burakovsky. Then Jaden Schwartz, Wenberg, Bjorkstrand, Brandon Tanev, Yanni Gord, and that's Jordan Eberle. Then we have Ryan Donato, Shane Wright, and Carson Coleman. Geeky will be rotating in and out from left to right on defense. Vince Dunn and Larson. Defense from left to right. Vince Dunn and Adam Larson. Jamie Oleksiak and Justin Schultz. Carson Soucy, and that's Will Borgen. And floating around is Cale Fleury. In net, first goalie off the ice, as reported by multiple people, we're getting Grubauer, and Jones will be the backstop. Now, I mentioned it before. Let me toggle out for those watching on YouTube quickly. I mentioned before that there will be some opportunities for you all in the Pacific Northwest. If you are there, then check out Emerald City Hockey. They have a game day watch party for the ECH community at Queen Anne Beerhall. They're partnering with Queen Anne Beerhall this season. And RJ is going to be there now tonight to watch the Seattle Kraken. So that's going to be exciting. Again, I will not be able to attend as I am not in Seattle, but I know there's a bunch of us that are fans of the Seattle Kraken, but we just can't get out to all of the games. Sometimes I make games on the road, and I love doing that, and I have some circled. We'll talk about that as they come up. But if you are like me and you are watching and loving and holding fast and staying true to all things Seattle from a distance, then I have a watch party for you. It happens right on Playback. That's right. I, at Locked On Kraken, have collaborated with myself at Black Rosie Media. Black Rosie Media is my company that I own, elevating and empowering Black women and melanated people in sports media. We're coming together and we're going to be hosting watch parties for the Seattle Kraken fans. So that's happening tonight. We're going to open up the room at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. And this is cool because you'll be able to watch from wherever. We're all going to be watching the same stream. So I know I've done watch parties like on YouTube and stuff. And then one person's like 30 seconds ahead of you. Another person's like 2 minutes behind you. None of that on Playback. And there's a chat function, and I can bring some of you up onto the stage. Eventually, we'll have some guests that will join us, but this is the first regular season run on Playback. I've done Playback a few times for some Seattle Kraken adjacent things, and also used it a lot in women's basketball. So I hope you will join me tonight on Playback. If you're not joining Emerald City Hockey at Queen Anne Beerhall, and of course, if you're not rolling with the Seattle Kraken in Anaheim, we're also going to have that Playback room for tomorrow. So keep that link. You can find it in the show notes or on social media. I've taken you through a lot already. Let's keep this party going and keeping the lights on for us today. I am going to tell you about Simply Safe. The numbers don't lie, folks. In the last decade, over 4 million people have chosen Simply Safe Home Security to protect their home. You don't earn the trust of that many people without doing something right. At Simply Safe, your safety is the only thing that matters. So here's some of the things that you get when you switch over to Simply Safe. 24/7 professional monitoring, and Simply Safe agents will call you a moment a threat is detected and dispatch the police or first responders in an emergency, even if you're not home and you can't be reached. Our monitoring experts at Simply Safe use proprietary advanced response technology to visually confirm when a break-in is real, so you can get the highest priority police dispatch. So customize your perfect system for your home in just a few minutes. You can do that, by going to simplysafe.com/LockedOnNHL. Save 20% on your Simply Safe security system when you sign up for an interactive monitoring plan and get your first month free. So again, visit simplysafe.com/LockedOnNHL, to learn more. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Hey, Seattle hockey fans, it's a game day. I hope you're excited. I definitely am excited. Thanks for making us your first listen of the day. Again, we're coming a little bit later, but I hope you enjoyed yesterday's Squadcast with the amazing Ann Kimmel. Lots of teams squaring off, of course, and the Predators, they got a little bit of a jump start to the start of the season. We talked about that yesterday. So, what do we need to know about our opponent? Well, it's funny you should ask, because our good friend, Alison Lucan, you know that we've had Alison on the show a handful of times. Alison Lucan has a match preview by the numbers. And there's also a few things that we got from Seattle Kraken from the PR team as we were getting ready for this game. So I will go over that just in case you didn't know. This is the season opener for both the Seattle Kraken and the Anaheim Ducks. So we are both at 0-0-0. Our power play has given up absolutely nothing, or our power play has distributed. Our power play is at 0% and our penalty kill is at 100%. Of course, that's because we haven't played the games yet. But some things by the numbers to know. This is by way of analytics with Alison. We talked to Alison Lucan about this, something that we could get used to here. So here we have it here. Per Sport Logic, defensively, Kraken were the stronger team last season. You know I started with that bullet because you know I love defense. Ranking in the top 10 in the NHL in preventing most scoring chances and overall shot volume. I always think it's so fascinating that the Seattle Kraken were top 10 in specific defensive categories, because I didn't think that we had great defense. So that's why I like reading analytics with Alison as an example. The Ducks have added some pieces to their blue line, which may bolster middling numbers from last year, with bright spots being their ability to defend the rush. Very curious to see this. They were 12th overall last season, and defending the rush is not something that I thought the Seattle Kraken was great at. Rebound chances, good at defending those, is the Anaheim Ducks squad. So this is cool. Players to watch: Andre Burakovsky. We're going to hear from him later on the show. Oliver Bjorkstrand. He led his former team, the Columbus Blue Jackets, last season in wins above replacement and goals above replacement. Love this. Just what a player can contribute offensively or just overall in a game. Players to watch for Anaheim: Troy Terry. 37, 30, 67. Those were goals, assists, and overall points. Trevor Zegras, who's joining my good friend, at least in my head, we're good friends. I think she'd say, like, we're friendly. Sarah Nurse, Trevor Zegras, Hillary Knight, and a few other folks were in this amazing commercial. I honestly only watched it without sound, but it's obviously an homage to the Mighty Ducks movie when they're all like, "Quack Attack is back, Jack!" Like, oh, it was great. Anyway, I can't wait to actually listen to it. Anyway, and then Mason McTavish, rookies. We heard from ours. Mason McTavish has done some amazing things with Hockey Canada. Head over to analytics with Alison. Love that feature. Love that we're seeing it. Again, some other things just to watch for. These game notes coming from the Seattle Kraken PR. This is the first of 26 games that we will play in against Pacific Division foes. So I said I really want the Seattle Kraken to be at 500. I think I got some pushback, especially from the YouTube community of Locked On Kraken, that might be too ambitious. Although the over-under has people the Seattle Kraken sitting just a hair under 500. Anyway, 26 games against the Pacific Division. I want us to be at least 500 in the Pacific Division. So 13 games, you think we can do it? I think so. We are going to face off against obviously the other teams that we're facing in our division. Anaheim, we hit Los Angeles tomorrow. We host Vegas. We're going to have that game on Playback as well and a watch party. Edmonton, Vancouver, and Calgary, and San Jose. Those are the teams that we face off. We're hitting everyone 4 times except for Calgary and San Jose. We are playing them 3 times. Tonight, Alex Wenberg enters the game 1 assist shy of recording 200 assists on the career. That would make him the 8th skater from the 2013 draft class and the 16th active Swedish player to reach that milestone. Players to watch. Oh, baby, I promise you, this is what it says in the game notes. Players to watch. Ryan Donato totaled 5 points, 3 goals, and 2 assists in 3 games against the Ducks last season. Finishing the year as one of 3 players, including Vince Dunn and Jordan Eberle, on Seattle's roster to record a point in each of the 3 games Seattle played against the Anaheim Ducks. Player to watch on the Anaheim Ducks side of things. This is in the game notes that the Seattle Kraken sent over. Troy Terry. He led all skaters in scoring against the Kraken last season. Boo, boo, boo that man. Boo that man. Anyway, he scored 5 points, 3 goals, and 2 assists against us in the 3 games that we played. I mentioned it, but worth reminding you, tomorrow we play against the Los Angeles Kings at Crypto.com Arena. Not Staples Center anymore, folks. So that's another road game. We have the day off on Friday. So I have something special for you on Friday. I'm super excited. I got to see the Lewicki brothers live in New York City. We're going to have that on Friday, as well as getting you ready for Saturday's Tilt, the first home game of the second ever Seattle Kraken season. And of course, we're facing off with who I believe are, they're not really our rivals, I don't think, on the ice, but as far as a fandom, we have a rivalry, oh, don't we ever, with the Vegas Golden Knights. But most everyone else, yesterday or today will be their first official game of the regular season. That includes, of course, us right here at the Seattle Kraken. Now we're going to hear from one of our newcomers, not a rookie, but a newcomer, Andre Burakovsky. Been around the league for a little bit, but here's him talking about how it feels opening day.
I'll do my best. All right.
Andre, you've been doing this for a while. Still get nerves at the first game of the year?
Yeah, first game is always a little bit special. Especially now, new team. I'm excited. I'm excited to get out there with a new team, compete, see what we can accomplish as a team. I'm definitely a little bit nervous, and at the same time, very very excited to get this game started now.
What's the vibe been like with this team?
It's been a good vibe. I mean, it's a good group. We all I think during training camp we all come together as a group. I mean, I'm new here, so it was very easy for me to just get in and be a part of the group. Everyone has been great, so I think the vibe is positive, really good vibe. We're excited. We're all excited tonight, ready to go, ready to get loose and just be able to play hockey again. You know.
Where are you now as far as tendencies with your line mates, just learning how each other play and stuff compared to where you were when you first came in?
No, I think good. Me, Canner, and Maddie. I think we'll be showing that we have some chemistry. I'm playing with 2 really good players, so I'm just gonna give them the puck and hopefully they give it back sometimes. You know, I think definitely it's been looking good in practice, and I get a good feeling for both of them.
Andre Burakovsky, I have loved what he's been talking about the process, about letting things happen. You heard him talk about Canner, and you heard him talk about Beniers. He likes what's growing and building there. I've talked about it before here, him and Beniers putting in extra time. So I think exactly what he was talking about, building that cultural component. I think we have seen even the adjustments that squad, that line has made over time. And so now they're going to get to really put that up against another team for a game that counts. Can Matty Beniers get on the board? Oh, I think he can. I think that line is going to be great for us. I talked about some of the other lines as well, though. Ryan Donato, again, was our top scorer from last year against this particular team. So you got to put some respect on Donnie Boy, even though, I always do. So, I'm curious. I'm curious to see who's going to perform. I'm curious to see, obviously, everyone wants to see what Shane Wright is going to do. He's on that line, of course, with Donnie Boy and Carson Coleman. I think that has potential to be a really scrappy line. Another thing that we should mention that I haven't mentioned because yesterday's episode was pre-recorded, Daniel Sprong, not with the team, having a few things that need to be ironed out regarding his essentially his visa status. So TBD with Spronger. We also have heard that Jaden Schwartz. We've also heard that Jaden Schwartz is day-to-day. Emerald City Hockey and other people have been reporting that he was taking the line rushes today at morning skate. He's been at practice. So game day decision, will he play? Won't he play? We'll find out. I think it's just a matter of how much discomfort they think he's in, if he is still behind a step or two dealing with an injury. So we shall see. It was interesting. I teased that we're going to hear from the Lewicki brothers, but Gary Bettman was also at the conference that I went to. We'll talk about it a little bit more on Friday, but he talked about, and Emily Kaplan was facilitating this conversation, but talked about the injury report. And how the injury reports, a lot of people are interested in those outside of people like me who are reporters because they do their fantasy or betting rosters. And it's good to know if someone has an injury or what their status is. And so Gary Bettman said something akin to, he doesn't think that they're going to change or update how the NHL does injury reports. And it sounded like he definitely wasn't interested in doing that for the sake of people betting on the NHL. But he mentioned retaliation and wanting to protect the players, and that being why we get the injury reports that we do. I understand it to an extent, but also other leagues are more specific with how they do that. I guess, if you want to argue that hockey is a little bit faster in some capacity, I don't know. It was an interesting comment. I guess I never really thought about it too much because, again, reporter, injury reports are extremely helpful to me, but I guess I never really thought about retaliation or not wanting to have players be targeted, like sweep the leg or stuff like that. So it was interesting. Anyway, we're going to close out Locked on Kraken. We're going to get you ready for tonight. Philip Grubauer is going to be in net. We're going to close out the show hearing a little bit from Dave Haxtell. Is he comparing this year to last year? What he's looking for regarding his team? We're going to hear all of that coming up on Locked on Kraken. Dave Haxtell says he hasn't really given much thought to comparing last year to this year. Of course, I've talked about it on the show before. Last year, this team had people going through the COVID protocol and traveling late to Vegas to try and make it into the starting roster. But Dave said, listen, every season has its challenges. Like this season, Daniel Sprong comes in as a PTO, earns a contract, and then can't get in the starting lineup for the opener because of essentially paperwork. So hardships or things not going how you planned, that's hockey, baby. It's also life. So a little bit of just reflection there. And then, of course, Dave Haxtell, just knowing that he wants this team to compete. That's what he's looking for. A lot of other things still need to be refined. But I like that comment, especially given my assessment of the last preseason game where I don't think the fight was there. I don't think the fine tuning was there. I don't think the focus was there. So is this team ready to go now that it's the real deal regular season? Well, we will find out tonight, folks. Don't forget, you can join us on Playback. Head to getplayback.com/room/Black Rosie Media 1. And if you couldn't catch all of that, check the show notes, whether you're listening on YouTube or audio platform. And of course, You can find the link on social media. Always a pleasure to host Locked On Kraken Season 2. Puck drops on Season 2 tonight. How far we have come, my friends. I'm very proud of what we've done here at Locked On Kraken, and I know the best is yet to come. We've got post-game. We're going to do a post-cast real quick. We're going to try it. I'll have my immediate reactions as soon as the game ends, and then, of course, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll recap tonight, and we'll get you ready for tomorrow's game against Los Angeles. And on Friday, you will hear from the Lewicki brothers, and oh my, was it powerful. I hope you enjoy. Be kind to yourself and to each other. Make sure you get your snacks ready. Also, if the Seattle Kraken win, I found a little nip bottle of Kraken rum. I actually really do like Kraken rum. I love rum. Anyway, I found a little nip bottle. You got to find me on the postcast to know whether we are celebrating post-game or we save it for tomorrow.
What does it mean to be a Seattleite? It's hope rooted in the ground we walk, pushing forward with our eyes on the horizon, knowing where we came from and where we aspire to be. It's innovation and growth, building on each other's ideas until they soar. If one of us is good, then all of us are great. We take pride in who we are, realizing that when we bring our true selves to the table, we can transform the world. Each person, a collective droplet in the tides of change. We remember the heritage of our city and the journey of our ancestors, honoring the heroes of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. You see, being a Seattleite isn't just a title, but a way of living. It's a delicate yet brilliant fusion of hustle and heart that sets us apart. Now, 30 names will be summoned to represent all of Seattle and its people. Some call it a draft, we call it destiny. The fates, aligning the crest on the front with the name on the back. And with them come the eyes and ears of the hockey world. So Seattle, let's show them who we are. We aren't just a stop on the schedule, we're the whole damn show. When the spotlight comes to us, we'll show them exactly what the Emerald City's made of. Each and every one of us, from the east and to the west, the mountains to the water, we're home to the best and loudest fans sports has to offer. Every Seattle, a voice in our sound, so let them hear us. The stage is set. Your city, your team, Seattle. It's time.
Hold fast. Stay true. Let's go, Kraken. I'll see you on Playback tonight.